Hello, beautiful collective. How are you? I hope you've been doing well. I hope you've been taking care of yourself. I'm back with another reading, another message. You know what's up. It is the early part of May. We're coming up on a new season. Spring is starting to, really, it hasn't started. It's been in full bloom. All the beautiful butterflies, the flowers, the little baby animals are out scurrying around. And so I hope that you've also been able to get outside, bloom, scurry around, enjoy yourself, nurture yourself. As we get closer to summer, things get hot, things get busy. We start thinking about, if you have kids especially, what are the kids gonna do? Vacation, time off of work. And it can get kind of stressful, right? So I hope that before things get too heavy for you, you take some time out and enjoy this beautiful springtime weather. Remember to stop by my Etsy shop. I've got some new options available. I've reorganized some of my readings, and I have a May special out. So stop by my Etsy shop, check that out, and make sure to follow me on Instagram. So this is going to be a new moon reading. We've got a new moon in Taurus. It is happening May 19th at 28 degrees in Taurus. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that, some of the planets that are involved, some of those meanings, the summary and message, and of course I'll be going over the cards from the new moon oracle. So to start off with, new moon, new beginnings, great time to start or begin a project, to begin planning, to kind of kick things off. That new moon is going to wax up to a full moon, and it's really going to provide us with a powerful push of energy to really kind of charge us up and get us going. So if you have a project you've been thinking about, you've kind of been dilly-dallying on, maybe you kind of weren't sure on where it's going to go, what you're going to do with it, this would be a perfect time to start that. Even if it's just a little bit here, a little bit there, you work on it a couple minutes a day, a couple hours a week. This new moon is a perfect time to kick that off and to get that going. And of course, our new moon, again at 28 degrees in Taurus, is in Taurus. And the key words around Taurus are feed, tend, grow, right? Nurture, cultivate. Taurus is an energy of acquisition, of materialism, of material excess, of having. Taurus is the sign that, really tells us to go after what it is we want for ourselves, to get it and hold on to it. Sometimes Taurus can also tell us to go after what we want, and once we get it, especially if it's, something that we really, really like, to spend money on it, right? So it is also an energy of excess. The new moon in Taurus has a couple of planets that are going to be providing a significant influence, and that is Mercury, Saturn, and of course Taurus's own planet is Venus. So Venus is the planet of beauty, of love, of desire. Venus is an energy of hot and cold, right? Passionate and detachment. It's very cycles, just like love itself. Sometimes we're very, very hot in love. Sometimes we're very, very cold in love. Venus is an energy of desire, of the heart center, right? Venus represents those things that are very, very dear to us, very beloved of us, those things that we lust after, we love after, or desire on a very deep level. Saturn is going to be influential in this new moon, and I've spoken about Saturn a number of times in past readings. Saturn is the father planet. He is the lord of karma. He's the great teacher. Saturn's energy really is about maturity. It's about discipline and structure. Saturn wants us to grow up, right? Saturn wants us to live our lives in a way that we will learn valuable lessons. We will grow in our maturity. We will grow in our responsibility. Saturn wants us to create structure, to have discipline, and to grow into our personal power, so that as we age, as we grow, as we develop as humans, we are able to hold our personal power in the world. We're able to be our own authority. We can overcome obstacles, we can overcome tests and trials. Another influential planet that we have for this new moon is Mercury. Mercury is the mental planet. Its keyword is mind, communication, messages. Mercury is represented as Hermes in Greek mythology, and so this is very much a divine messenger, a spiritual messenger. This is wisdom. This is communication, not only between people, communication between people, or communication with ourselves, but communication with spirit. This is very much an energy of mental acuity, mental agility, able to think quick and on your feet. This is a very intellectual sign. So being able to look at things, analyze things from different ways, and really to not only use logic, intellect, and wisdom, but then to be able to translate those ideas and those concepts into language and communicate that to other people. So this is a very, this is also like a very teaching type of energy as well. Being able to use your intellect, translate that, I would say, into message and words, and then share that with others. And with Taurus being an earth sign, here we have the earth element, which is representative of stability, of safety, of material matters, of earth matter, right? Terra firma, Gaia, mother, matter. This is an energy of creativity, of nurturing. This is very much that safe energy where all of your primal needs are prioritized and met. Stability, safety, comfort. And so as we go through these messages, we will see each of these planets, each of these elements contribute to this energy of this month's new moon. So this new moon in Taurus is, again, really influenced by Mercury and Saturn. The pairing of these three planets, Mercury, Saturn, and Venus, brings a really unique energy. It is an energy that we can use to think and plan with Mercury, a way to nourish and grow, Taurus, a type of discipline, a system, a structure, or a foundation, Saturn, which is going to bring beauty, love into our heart center, Venus, but will also be practical, meaningful, and of some type of material benefit, Earth. So this is a wonderful time to start looking at budgeting, start looking at how you spend your money, how you spend your time, where you are focusing your resources, right? Your material or financial resources, your energy, just where are you putting your resources? Where are you putting your energy? And wherever it is that you put your energy, that is where you will see change. And this isn't anything brand new, right? We all know about this. If we focus on the positive, we get positive outcomes. If we focus on the negative, we typically get negative outcomes, right? If we put our time and energy into cleaning our house, our house gets clean. If we put time and energy into going outside and swimming in the pool, we become better swimmers. And so this new moon is going to be a great time to go internally, think about where we're putting our resources and if it's giving us the result that we actually want, right? If it is giving us the result that we want, this is going to be a wonderful time to maximize and economize that gain, right? With the influence of Saturn and Mercury, we're going to be able to continue making those structures, thinking about how we can, develop more along those lines. If we need to by chance reconfigure where we're putting our time, energy, and resources, this new moon is going to be a great time for us to rethink how we're spending our time, how we're using those resources, and possibly develop some new structures or new foundations. It can be kind of discouraging if you find yourself, walking a path and, all of a sudden what you've planned and what you've put your work into, it's kind of no longer working anymore. But the wonderful thing about momentum is that as long as you keep going, as long as you keep moving, you can easily shift and you can easily course correct. It's when you come to a dead stop, right? It's when things are completely halted where it gets a little bit more tricky to continue on that path and course correct. You can't course correct if you've gotten off the course, right? Stay on your course, continue to think, continue to plan. Things change, embrace change, right? So use this time to really start thinking about what you love, what is bringing you passion, what is bringing you beauty into your life, what sparks your heart, right? And if those things that do spark your heart do bring livelihood and happiness and joy to your life, are those things also panning out for a material gain or a material good? While there is definitely beneficial and meaning to doing things just for fun and just because we find excitement and joy and passion into it, as human beings, we also need stability and security and safety. So make sure that we're not moving too far into the excess of Taurus here and only focusing on the beautiful, the passionate, the lovely, the desirable, right? Also make sure that with Taurus, we're balancing that energy of Venus with the energy of Earth so that, the things we are feeding, tending, growing, that brings us happiness, that brings us joy, that makes us feel, that fire inside, also has some material gain, some benefit, so that we can, live our lives in a stable way and not give too much into the excess. So the message here really is that our safety depends on our ability to create stability. And this is not always, cut and dry, simple and easy, right? It's difficult sometimes to satisfy those things. As humans, we like predictability, we like sameness, we like a nice smooth timeline, a nice smooth horizon, a pathway that is straight and focused. But that is not life, right? That is absolutely not life, and change is inevitable. It's a part of life that we must accept. So find yourself, align yourself and your self-respect with things that are authentic, beautiful, wise, and stable. Not just the materialistic things in life, not just the things that make you feel excited, not only the things that make you feel happy. Accept yourself, align yourself with those things which are truly meaningful, and it will become much easier for you to find peace in the world. So as we have already kind of spoken about our cards here, I want to move on to the Moon Oracle cards, which are here, and we'll start with the Black Moon. So again, this is the new moon that is in Taurus, which is an earth sign. The new moon is represented by a dormant seed. It's a quiet time, it's a reflective time, it's a time to go inside and, really rest, recuperate, realign, recenter. So when the moon loses all its light in an earth sign, there is a slowing down of progress on all fronts. With regard to material projects, this isn't a period in which to take out a new investment or engage in any kind of significant risk. It's a period for cutting back on expenses. It's a time to watch and wait. When this card is the current moon selected from the moon tables, the zodiac signs below give a further interpretation. Moon in Taurus. This sign is not very happy to give up home comforts that have been earned through hard work. So there will be a need to apply a greater amount of self-discipline than usual. Moon in Virgo. This is a time for deciding what are the necessary expenses and what are not. A little ruthlessness in your accounting department is demanded during this point. Moon in Capricorn. This is an ideal period for returning to parts of a project that were left unfinished because of the need to make progress and completing them, so that nothing is wasted and everything is ready for a new start at a later date. So this really does speak to that energy of aligning yourself with things that make you happy, things that spark joy, but also the things that are needed, right? To create that stability, to tie up loose ends, and to make sure that as we move forward, we're moving forward in the right direction. And the right direction is eventually going to pay us back, right? The energy we put into the correct projects at the correct time, we will then reap the benefit of. The next card is Venus. Venus is, of course, the ruling planet of Taurus, represented by beauty, love, passion, all of those things, again, that really speak to our joy, our heart center, the things we love and really want to pour ourselves into. So you can see Venus seated on a throne, supported by a beautiful swan. Traditionally in mythology, Venus was carried across the sky in a chariot drawn by swans. In her left hand, she raises the mirror of Venus, which is a universal emblem that has really come to represent the feminine in many ways. Venus is the morning and the evening star. She holds in her right hand a staff surmounted by the fruitful lotus flower. And the lotus flower, of course, is red, which is the color attributed to her lover, Mars. Beneath the image are symbols for the earth sign Taurus and the moon disk of the white goddess. She's considered a white goddess because Taurus or May is usually during that springtime. So again, as I said, Venus was the Roman goddess of love, beauty, marriage, and laughter. She goes by many names: Venus Genetrix, Venus Felix, and Venus Victrix. She is the mother of Cupid. She is the bringer of good fortune, and she is the bringer of victory. This card represents love in all its forms, from pure or ideal love to lustful desires and passion. Venus warns us that we will have to pay the piper, right? We will have to pay the appropriate price for self-indulgence. But if you're prepared to pay that price, then go for it. The nature of Earth in Taurus is above all sensual, comfort loving, with a tendency to act slowly and surely in familiar ways. And Venus doesn't mind that at all. I think that lines up again very well with the overall message that we want to make sure that we're moving forward in a way that brings us joy and pleasure, right? All work, no play makes Jack a dull boy. But too much play with too little work makes Jack a poor homeless boy. So there is, again, that balance. And I think that's best represented by Saturn, Mercury, and Venus kind of, having that influence on Taurus. So the mansion card for this season, for this new moon, is the wheel. And you can see down by my finger here, the symbols for Saturn and Mercury are present. This is represented from, this is ruled by, again, Saturn and Mercury, and represented for the period of the 21st.26th degree in Taurus to the 4.17 degree in Gemini. This is a picture of two figures almost identical. They're standing facing one another, each with one hand reaching forward but not quite touching the other. Behind the figures is the moon, which is depicted as a wheel. The spokes of the wheel are helmeted heads spinning in an anti-clockwise direction. This is sort of like a representation of idealism, intuition, creativity, likability, wisdom, generosity. This is the body of Taurus, right? When the moon is located in this mansion, it was traditionally and historically considered a good time for the instruction of scholars and favorable for the development of talents and aptitudes. In this fifth lunar mansion, the serious, security-minded planet Saturn conjoins with Mercury, the planet of communication, in an excitable and sharp thinking sign of Gemini. And we will be moving into Gemini, I think the 20th or 21st of May. As a result, Saturn takes on a less austere quality than usual, influenced by the rather lightweight planet Mercury, and at the same time, it enhances the staying power of Mercury. If you draw this card during a reading, or if this card is presented to you as a reading, you have the ability to make good connections and to work with others to keep the wheels of a particular enterprise turning. It's important to the success of your endeavors to move in the right social circles and to make use of contacts. So this is about networking. This is about connecting. This is about keeping things in motion, right? Earlier I mentioned momentum, not to let things get stagnant. Don't let things stop, but keep that momentum going. A wheel often denotes gaining permission or acceptance by someone in a position of power. So this card is essentially about who you know and how well they like you. Again, the key phrase here is good networking. And I did not mention, but the key phrase for this dark moon, this black moon, this new moon is economy. Now, when we're talking about economy within the framework of these cards and these interpretations, of course, this means doing the most with what you've got, right? Taking the time to look at your resources, look at your energy, look at your plans, look at the landscape, right, long term, and determine if what we're doing, how we're working, and how we're investing our time and energy, if that is going to, right, as we continue down, as we let that momentum build, if that's going to turn a benefit for us. Now, we don't want to be out there and be, opportunists or, taking advantage of any opportunity that's going to only bring us a benefit. But there is nothing wrong with making sure the work you do, the things you align yourself with, right, the people in your circle, there's nothing wrong with making sure that those things are good for you, are healthy for you, right? Whether that is it helps you turn a profit, right? It puts money in your wallet, or whether it has a benefit for you in the mental health sense, right? Or an emotional sense. The people you hang around, the things you do should, in my opinion, by all aspects, be a positive influence. Even if by chance unfavorable or undesirable things happen to you because of where you're putting your time, energy, resources, people, blah, 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 if we can learn from those opportunities, right? If we can learn from those experiences, that in itself is a benefit. And so this new moon in Taurus, again at the 28th degree, is really speaking to cultivating a structure, nurturing a system or a framework, and analyzing how that is bringing peace, harmony, balance, and beauty to your life. If you feel during this time that things are out of alignment or out of whack, this is the lesson of the new moon in Taurus, right? That's the lesson. It's not working. How can we adjust? What do we need to course correct? And so I encourage you guys to, really kind of take a look at this video, do some internal work, analyze your habits, analyze your dreams and your desires, and ask yourself if this is really what you want. Ask yourself if you are manifesting your desires in your current way of operation. And if not, take the chance, jump off the cliff, have the courage to make a change, right? We said before, change is inevitable. As humans, we like predictability, but change is a part of life. We must accept it. There's no getting around it, right? And if we can align ourselves with that, if we can accept that change is always going to be present, then when it comes time to make that change, when it comes time to course correct, or simply leave something where it is and move on to a better direction, a better path, it will be so much easier. Well, I hope that this message has given you a little bit of insight, some guidance, or some advice, or at least the encouragement to, double check your course. Make sure you're still on the right track. And if you're not on the right track, don't be afraid to change things up. Keep that wheel turning, right? Keep that wheel going. There's nothing wrong with heading in the wrong direction. It's only something wrong if you keep going in the wrong direction when you know it's the wrong direction. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Come back because I'm going to do a new moon reading where I'll be pulling some tarot cards and getting the new moon message for everyone. And don't forget to stop by my Instagram page, follow me, and check out my Etsy shop. I have a promo code in the description box below, and I hope you guys will continue to enjoy this beautiful springtime before summer comes and has us out there sweaty and frizzy hair. I am wishing you guys love, peace, and blessings. Peace, love, and blessings. I always get those two mixed up. Oh my goodness. You guys know what I mean. Come back for the next one, y'all. Bye.